He's getting it ready there. He's getting it ready. He's just doing the intro. That's all.
How's it going, everybody? It's Man Tomorrow here. I got a special guest in the house tonight, BMT's father. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the history, BMT's father history from his grandfather on to his father and his actual life. It's very important to bring masculine figures around, especially from people who I like and respect. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go over the actual history of the actual area because I didn't know that BMT father was even from Meridian. I don't even think I even asked. However, that's what we're going to be talking about today, and that's what we're going to be going over. So, what's going on, BMT?
None too much, man. None too much. I'm on here. I'm honored to actually get to bring my father on here to actually get to do this show or this broadcast. Um, but it'll be more so Father BMT be taking over. I'll be interpreting stuff if he can't hear
Okay.
the conversation. But I'll be the liaison.
Right.
But he definitely is blessing me and MOT with filling in a lot of information that MOT has been talking about and going over. And I'm just honored and I'm thankful for that. So y'all make sure y'all take notes and please support the information that is coming out. Go ahead, Dad.
Good afternoon, y'all. Oh, God be with you and be a part of whatever you are trying to succeed in. Make sure he is first and everything will come out right.
All right, no problem. JR, thanks for the 499 super chat. All right, so let's go with the first question. My first question is, did your people actually were they brought here to the United States or were they already here within the United States?
We was born and raised at Gullah. You know what Gullah
Okay,
is?
sir. Yes, sir. I do. I'm well aware of it. Yes, sir.
Okay, I am full breed blood Gullah.
All right. And what? So your people all get together, and what year? Like, okay, so you was over there that year. So when did you go from like the Gullah Nation to like Mississippi? Like, was it your father's generation? Was it your grandfather's generation? Or how did that work?
Okay, as we grew up, we did like plants. We spread it among following our education, and we always try to do better than our fathers and them. So half of us in New York, Boston, California, Connecticut, we went all over. Some of us went back home. See, I was supposed to be back there running that farm, but the wife I married, she claimed she couldn't take that heat.
Yeah, I mean it is very hot out there. You know how it is. Yeah.
So I ended up in Mississippi behind a woman.
All right. That's
Wedded.
that's that's what's up. I mean, so your grandfather, obviously from the nation as well.
Well,
Granddaddy
when,
Jack and them. Are they Geechee Gullah?
yeah, Geechee Gullah and Indian.
That's the same thing. Yep. I was like black and Indian. So during your like what do you remember from like your grandfather's generation? Like, did he even talk about the actual times? Did he live long enough to talk to you about those things, to pass down anything?
That
Well, back then they didn't really discuss nothing. Only they was we was like day slaves until we got grown and took off on our own.
Okay.
You know, because they had farm and only thing they wanted us to go to school, get an education, and get their crop out the field.
Yeah, like my family was the same way. Yeah, they really wasn't interested in introduce. Well, I mean, you got introduced into the farm life if you messed up in school and you wasn't in school. Then they put you out there in the fields, and that's where you realize you didn't want to be quickly. But
So
yeah,
they made you, in a way, they did like Uncle Sam. They finished to motivate your maturity to be self-sustained. And I
yes,
appreciate both of them.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And all right, so they didn't really discuss the history. All right, so when it came to your father, did your father try to keep you in the nation, or did he allow you to just leave? Like, what type of conversation was that when you decided that you wanted to go?
Well, I'll be honest with you, my grandfather raised me,
Okay,
and he's still in South Carolina, my father.
okay,
I go and let him know I succeed and I still give him a hand out. But since I don't drink, I don't indulge with him with his luxury.
So what's his drink of choice? What's his drink of choice?
Huh?
What is his drink of choice?
Anything you get at the liquor store.
Oh, okay. I mean, because my family, we made corn whiskey. That's what we made down
Yeah,
there.
alcoholic,
in
man.
Mississippi.
Wherever shelf his wallet fit.
All right, so you followed a woman down to Mississippi, and you say you went into the actual Vietnam War at 72. Is that correct? 72.
Huh? What did you say?
How old were you when you went into the war, Daddy?
I went there, but I graduated right after we were doing body bags when I went in. I had too many family members in Vietnam. They didn't send you in there if you had over 5 of us. And I had
Yes.
6, 7 of them in there.
Mm-hmm. That,
So
Daddy,
how long
go ahead.
did he stay in? So if you went in at 72, like how long did he stay in?
How long were you in the military, Daddy?
Altogether, my military service, almost 15.
15 years.
All right, 15 years.
He did 15.
And you say you was a truck driver for how long?
I drove a truck for about 18 years, man.
Okay, 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you've been staying in Mississippi the entire time. So what was the actual
I
what
drove
was the
truck.
actual
I lived in Mississippi. When I retired, I went back home, and I didn't see there wasn't a home for me, so I moved to Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
You know, black people all over land. I wasn't ugly. I wanted a house, so I moved in, bought some land, and bought a house.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So What was the sentiment like in Mississippi at the time during the Vietnam War?
What do you say?
What was the sentiment like? How was it during Vietnam in Mississippi?
I didn't live here. I was in Boston. I stayed in Boston until I came south.
How was it? How was it during Vietnam for blacks, Daddy?
Same way as now. Ain't nothing. They still. Well, I can't blame society for what Mississippi do. I blame the
Oh yeah,
people.
no doubt. Yeah.
Because some people don't want better. You can't put everything on society. It's the people in society who want to go forward and who don't want to go forward.
I would ask this, but I don't. Were you around when Jim Crow was around, Daddy?
I was the end of that, man. It's still Jim Crow here now today, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I know in certain cities down there. I know what the cities are, especially if you live in Meridian. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a soft Jim Crow. It's not like a hard Jim Crow like it was with violence and all that. But you know what areas not to go into.
Yep. Just like you got Ku Klux Klan next door to you and you don't even know until something falls down.
Correct.
Just
I mean,
like
they're well integrated in society at this point. So.
just like since you asked that question, your neighborhood is full of them.
Yeah, I know. I understand. Especially on the other side of the highway. Yes, you are correct. That's why people are talking about sundown towns. I'm like, you could just go right across the tracks and there's a whole sundown town over there. Like, if they catch you over there, you're going to be shot on sight.
Hey, my man. Y'all call it sundown, right? You just gotta wait till it get dark. And once they get a couple bottles of liquor in them, and you see, most of the pregnant people, they're driving them 4x4 with them big old steel bumpers on.
Yeah, I mean, you know who they are at this point. I mean, that's all they drive.
You
I mean, they're the only one who can afford that.
They already marked themselves, but the younger one don't know who is that until they get drunk at night and be coming home. All of a sudden, they know they got forced off the road or in the woods, and they shoot up your cars.
Yeah, like you don't want to be caught in the middle of somebody's Negro safari, and that is an actual term that's down there. Like you don't want to be out. Like if you're gonna shop for stuff, you better be off out of that area by like 7 p.m. in the summer, and definitely by 5 or 6 p.m. or before it gets dark in the actual winter or after the fall.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You just gotta be careful wherever you go, man.
I mean, but they'll let you know that you're in the wrong place unless you have a certain type of vehicles pull up on you, and then it's too late.
You know the sign, huh?
Yes, sir. I do know. I mean, like during the day, they're very polite. They're gonna ask you what you're doing over there, and they're gonna ask you to politely leave before you get us both killed. But at nighttime, you're not gonna have that opportunity. They're just gonna pull up and they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. So.
Yeah.
So I have a question because people have the actual idea that Black people were actually extremely weak during that actual time, and people need to understand that, like in my city, like we just held the local people responsible for the out of towners who would come in and cause trouble. Like they don't understand that there were people who actually fought back tooth and nail with guns because people had training and everything else. But the actual history books, they don't even celebrate or even talk about these people. They just make it look like we were just under constant threat of violence and there was no pushback. They made it seem like people didn't fight back at all down there. And what was your experience?
Well, I was my younger days. I spent most of it in Boston.
Oh, okay, most of it in Boston.
And we had a lot of racial stuff before Joe Biden came. Because the white boys come, you hear of everybody from South Boston, when it get dark, they didn't come in Roxbury or Dorchester. Because when the white people come in Dorchester, when it get dark, that get stoned or burned.
Yeah, like, that's how it was like down south too. Like once people got off work from the factories, it was a whole different situation than you just coming through on the weekend or before like a church night. Like most of the actual attacks actually happened on like before church night. They know most people are home or people are out at the juke joints or whatever. But that's when most of the attack actually happened when wasn't nobody really protecting the community like that. And people don't even understand how I mean, because it was a cowardice act. So they had to pick and choose their particular time when they was gonna come through and do those types of actual activities.
Yeah, because you know you're vulnerable, you're drunk, you're coming out the club, you ain't thinking about one thing, either whoever you done pick up that night, y'all drunk and y'all ain't paying attention, you go pull up in one of them back roads, the next thing they know, they find you dead.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, did you hear about the levee break in the 1920s when they kind of re-enslaved all the people in the area and picked them up from like a bunch of different places in Mississippi and forced them to rebuild the levee along the Mississippi River?
Well, them people down there still catching hell, man.
Oh no, I know they are. Trust me.
I'm gonna tell you something. Only reason they're doing that levee over now is for them cracking soybeans.
Yeah, because like in the area where I'm at, like the river still floods a certain type of way. You know how they set it up? Like the Army Corps of Engineer has no local control within the area, so they allow areas to flood to kind of depress the actual real estate values in certain areas. And once that flooding got too good and it started messing up other people's areas, or vice versa, where most black people lost their farms and the actual white farmers started to take over the area, that's when they tried to quote unquote correct the issue.
That was an insurance scam for the white man.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Because they control the levee gate all of it from Kentucky through Mississippi.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, like they have like many dams and many places to where they get the guide water flow into certain areas, even if it's not raining.
The engineers, the levee board control the water flow from Kentucky all the way to the ocean.
Yes.
And the reason being the levee is like it is now because they ain't letting the water flow and all the silt water from the shoreline and from the woods are they come in like silt and close the bottom of the ocean up and the bodies can't get through. Only reason they're cleaning it out now because the harvest season. And then white people, and the prices of food go up because the bodies can't go out, so they take less cargo, more money.
Correct. Even though the production is still the same, the dynamics are still the same after that. Because like in the area where I'm at, they do that stuff a lot. And they because most people have lost their farms at this point. Down there, unless you're like in South Flower County and somewhere in Hines County, like there's a lot of people who haven't lost their farms because they self-funded while everybody else walked in with farm subsidies and actual agricultural banks, which is a whole nother system that takes a whole nother conversation to explain to people. But like most of those people walked in with no money, they got free government subsidies and grants and was able to run their stuff basically straight out of the bank, while most of the black farmers had to actually self-fund their actual farms.
Let me tell you a trick about them. See, the white farmers leave their equipment in the field. They wanted to get flooded, but the government could give them new stuff.
Yes,
All
you're
the
correct about
farmers
that.
down here in Mississippi, when they have a flood, now the black farmers getting smart too. They leave their equipment in the middle of the field because they know that new insurance they put on them. They find out that's how the white buddies are getting richer and they were getting poor because they were trying to haul the tractors. You're doing 140 acres of land and you quit in the middle of the field and you get in your truck and you come back, you can't find your tractor.
Oh no, you can't. That's not been grown up all over that. There's no way if you're gonna leave it like most farmers leave it like near the road, so at least they could be able to cut the grass around the actual tractor or whatever. But if you leave it that far out there and you're not out there for the next season, man, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna forget where it is. I mean, even if you know your land, you're not gonna be able to find it.
I'm gonna tell you, I farm. If it come time to quit, and I do small quantity farming, when you pull in a 16-row harrow and you got to pull it up in the rain, you ain't gonna know where the row at. So you leave the tractor to mark where the road to stop that.
Correct. I mean, like that's why my grandfather used to leave it by the road to where no one was gonna steal it, but at least he knew where it was too.
Really? That's why y'all do that? So that wait,
Yes.
so that's okay, that's new for me to. I missed that lesson book.
No, but there's like a huge ditch on the other side of it, so you're not about to come and steal it because there's no way to kind of get it out of there. But at least they could see it from the road. That's kind of how they had it, or the convention that they actually settled on to actually be able to find their equipment. Because if you're going to report a loss, because they didn't give losses to actual black farmers back then, right? So if you at the point it was way later that there was going to be a loss for you, like you had to actually have like a picture of the actual equipment and it couldn't work. But they didn't get that. They still have to self-fund with their profits that they made from their land.
But the new tractor they got cameras on it. And got a GPS that at their barn, they go to the computer and pull it up where their tractor was left at.
Correct, but also they can shut down your tractor remotely and force you to use like other vendors to come out there to fix your tractors, and that's why a lot of people start deinstalling that actual software from their tractors because they found out that people were automatically remotely shutting down their tractors and then forcing you to have somebody to come out to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get your actual tractor back up during harvest season.
John Deere was doing that. That's the reason they're suing John Deere to take that stuff off the new John Deere.
Yep, John Deere was doing it. Like Case wasn't doing that, but John Deere was doing that.
And it was one of the biggest sellers.
Yeah, they were. They were the biggest seller until like all these other manufacturers started offering like loans to like black farmers, and John Deere really didn't like that. Like from Case and Komatsu, I think. Yeah, like all these other tractor companies started offering credit lines to all these farmers in the South, and that's how they kind of caught up.
Yep, that when they softened up, because I walked in and got my tractor in 20 minutes.
Correct. That's how it's supposed to be, especially when you're a farmer. Yeah.
When a white man gonna just give a black man a $40,000 tractor in less than an hour?
Yeah, but the foreigners would in a heartbeat because they know you're going to make the money back. But the actual local people are not going to give you the tractor because they want you to force you to sell your land. That's how that worked for a while.
Yeah, I told them a disabled vet. They had the tractor in my yard in less than an hour, man.
Correct. Like if you was like ex-military, you were covered. But if you wasn't like somebody from the State Department, somebody who worked for the local government or federal government, like you really couldn't get you really couldn't get anything. Like you had no protection whatsoever.
Yeah. But you know, I'm gonna tell you the secret, man. The younger generation need to come back home and check their parents' status and stuff. You know, sometimes they think you're trying to know their business, but you have to break down and tell them, look, I'm only keeping an eye out because the white man is out to rob us. You know, like I told my son and my daughter and my niece, I said, yo, my mom's got some land. I'm going to help y'all get it. I don't need it. Because, hey, it ain't going to do me no good. It do me good because my grandkids and my kids got it. But the idea is, my mom's is the only one living, and Josiah and them is hooked up to 120 acres of prime land in the state that we are from Buford.
Yeah, like that's how we got in Mississippi in the first place. Like they took all our land in North Carolina in South Carolina. We was on the border of North and South Carolina, and that's how we ended up in Mississippi in the first place. Like they just rolled in and said, "This is our land now." They had like fake sealed documents and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they just
Yo,
took their
man,
stuff away from them.
come on now. When you was coming up, you seen them crackers like these husband and wife riding around on bicycle through the dirt roads and stuff, and they ain't even from that state. The next thing you know, they done went to City Hall and look that land up. See, got tax on it, and know them old people don't read their letters like you every time you get letters, right? Then they bring that pile on the table and find the tax don't get paid, and when they go to do pay the tax, that white person that rode on that bike, they done paid the tax off. Now you gotta pay them back if you waited 5 years or whatever years, right? You gotta pay them that money back with interest.
Correct. And they some states they corrected it. Mississippi ain't one of them. But yeah, they do come in there and they file a lien on your actual land, and they can stop you from getting loans, and they can really kind of screw you out of being able to use your own land at that point. You are correct.
See, right here where I'm at, because I was in their politics, right? And I seen a lot of blacks where they were taking advantage of the other blacks, and I told them I don't want to be in a scam like that, you know. There's a lot of land. I got prime land. I got one lot of land that runs over $65,000 right now, sitting in front of my house.
Oh, that's nice.
For 1 acre, I can get $65,000 tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah, I mean you can now. Hey, I mean, yeah, it's prime now. Like the stuff that was like worth nothing, even like 20 years ago, even if it was like $1,500 an acre, it's really worth that right now because like all the land in Mississippi, like that's on sale. I mean, you even have whole counties on sale in Mississippi right now, and they're charging like $1.5 million for like a county right now, a county worth of land. It really wasn't worth anything 20 years ago.
But you know about Mount Bias, right?
Yeah, Mount Bayou, yeah. I know where that's at.
Well, I found out since I was here, you can own a house, right? But if the house is on the city land, you don't own you just own the building. The city own the property.
Correct.
I said, man, you mean you stayed in that house for 25 years and paid for it, and you got land away from the city and you didn't move? He said, what you say makes sense. I said, man, as I tell you what you should do. he started crying. I said, I'll burn the motherfucker down. Get the money and run.
Mount Bayou, it's not Choctaw territory?
Mount Bayou's always been owned by all blacks, man. They even got their own private bank, man. They got the Benny Thompson dumped some billions in Mount Bias since I've been here, man. His headquarters is in Mount Bias.
So who I mean, I always knew they had a private bank there, but how did it become like the actual city of Mount Bayou owned the actual land? Like, how did that happen?
Well, all that land was owned by black people, but they didn't know. Now the smarter ones are waking up and studying. Some of the lawyers, some of the doctors and stuff, and they are wondering, how could my daddy have this? And they finally just own the building.
Oh,
right?
So they don't own the land beneath it. It's kind of like some trailer park situation where you own the actual property, but you don't own the land beneath it type thing.
Yeah, just like Donald Trump got that thing in New York. He owned the hotel, but the land under is owned by some black people.
Yeah, I do know that. I know that.
You know that's been all over the news. That Donald Trump can't even sell the building because he don't own the land.
Yeah, and he ain't trying to give those people a cut of it if he ever sold it.
You know,
or forced to sell it.
That's when the royalty was not hotel. So that was Mount Bias is thinking around. But they got their own they got their own museum, they got everything, right?
Yeah, they like if people wanted to do something in like a context like that, that's black. Like Mount Bayou is a pretty good example of it being done correctly. This is why I don't talk about the area. This is why I just see people claim that they know what they're doing, but I can point to places in Mississippi where they've already done all this stuff.
But you got to talk about it. You know why? Because they're still having babies in Mount Bayou. And that will let them babies know that, look, though we got this house here, we just own the building.
Yeah, like they're a different breed though. Like they really update their kids on how things work out there, so that way they know, so their houses and their land don't get took like that, like it get took in most other places.
Yeah, they opening their eyes now.
I mean, they're better than other places. I mean, they're not like perfect, but they're better than other places.
Yeah, but if you sit back and listen to Mississippi history, why live at? We don't need to come out of the Delta to live. We can sustain ourselves right in the Delta.
Oh yeah, like that's a very fertile land. I mean, it's not used properly the way that it could be used, but it's a very fertile land. I mean, I think it's a bad idea to plant corn or cotton on it, by all means, but they have like more heat resistant strains of all crops now at this point. I mean, they didn't like 40, 50 years ago, but they definitely have it today.
Yeah. I tell you something. Sometimes I hate where I live at. And sometimes I love it because I own part of the royalty. Because I put my house down here. And every time they put something new up on 61, up on top of the hill from me, they're finna put a grocery store and a meat market there, right? In the last 3 years, I done got almost $40,000 royalty off of them buildings, off their people, businesses.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's nice. I said that's nice.
Yeah. So like I told Josiah, them people keep building up around where he at. His house can worth a mint. But
that's why you're never supposed to sell your property. That's why you're supposed to keep it in the family. That's why you're supposed to have somebody live in it to keep it up.
Yeah, that's why I tell you, you got to maintain. Like my insurance company gave me that money. I sunk $70,000 in this house this past summer. I ran hardwood floor through it. My wife didn't want for shit. I wait for something to happen that my insurance company don't hesitate to pay me. I got canceled because I moved all them trees. That's the only thing I hate about Mississippi is too much damn trees. Because we have too many tornadoes, and you don't know if it's coming from the east or the north.
Now you don't know. Like, I mean, them thunderstorms are hell down there, and you don't know. I mean, because the wind can shift so many different ways in a thunderstorm, you have no idea what's coming in from where. The only thing you see is night and bolt of lightning and lots of thunder and things that just come from anywhere.
Hey man, I was less than a block from my house, man. I got $30,000 damage on my truck.
What from a tornado?
We had an ice storm.
Oh, ice storms are worse than tornadoes. Yeah.
That's one. It sounded like the army was here just shooting bullets, right? Oh yeah, big golf balls were coming down.
Yeah, like
I put my truck under the shed, and they messed up the hood, the top of the hood, or the side. I made the insurance company did the whole truck all over.
Yeah.
You ain't making me give my truck to one of them white boys and they go to the junkyard and buy hoods and have a good truck.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you put a lot of money in the engine wise and kept it up. I mean, because when they give you the quote unquote price for the truck, they don't pay you for the whole thing anyway. Then your stuff goes somewhere else, and somebody just pick up your equipment that you kept up for nothing.
Yeah. The white dude tells me, "You're a smart guy, huh?" I said, I said, "Look, man, I truck and paid for the truck, and you think I'm gonna give it to you? I know why I got." I said, I'm not asking you for nothing. I'm telling you what you're going to do. Right, so I'm coming to them. You got a toilet, I have to give you. You ain't giving me shit. You're going to fix my truck, and I don't owe you nothing, and I still got warranty on it.
Did you ever how was voting back then, Dad, versus now?
Well, it was a little more hectic back. Mostly, Joe, I'll be honest with you, I did most of my voting what you call paperless, because I was in the military. You know, you send it in.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my vote, I didn't stop going to the polls since I moved here. I ain't never voted in no voting place in Massachusetts, no other place. You know, we used to send an absentee ballot. Even when I drove a truck, I did absentee ballot.
Was voting?
You don't know where you're gonna be the next day when your state come to vote. Like, you know, I was voting out of Massachusetts, and half the time I'd be on the highways, so they let me do absentee.
What was the mindset of participating for blacks back then? What, like, you know, when you was young, what was y'all mindset?
Well, our vote. Really, we were voting then for our kids, because you didn't have a voice if you didn't vote. You know, when you walk in there and you go talk to your city, your council, or city representative, or your senate, whoever in charge for that state, you could have go in their office, because first thing they ask you before you walk in the door, you're a registered voter. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't vote, they had a way of pulling it up, and they won't even take time to talk to you.
Really?
So say it again. If you don't participate, they're gonna see how often you participate, and if you don't, and you walk in there, start asking for stuff, they're gonna give you the wire brush off, and they're just gonna go to somebody else.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the reason people who got kids should always vote, because you don't want to go to go to the school and try and say, I'm gonna go see my representative, and first thing when you call is they ask you you're a voter. You didn't vote for him, why the hell he gonna represent you?
And a lot of people don't understand, like, when they have this off the wall understanding of what they think they're gonna get from the actual process, they don't understand, like, the first thing they're gonna ask you is your phone number. The second thing they're gonna ask you is for your address. And they look you up by the address. They see how many people is in the address. They see whether that you voted or not, how long you stayed in the address. And people are like, well, I didn't get no call back from my representative. And it's like, well, you asked for something off the wall and you don't participate in the process. Why would they talk to you?
That's right. I vote now, man. I vote now. The reason I keep voting, because of my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? If I come to speak, they ain't problem in the state, and I'm in it, and I go in there and say, I'll be at the school tomorrow with you. So I can do that, because first thing they're gonna ask me, you a voter? I said, number one, I'm a vet and I'm a voter. I ain't about to hear the garbage. You know, I don't hear we talking business.
Yes, sir. Like, that's what I like about being a vet. Like, they're not gonna give you the runaround for voting. They're just gonna let you in to vote. Like, they don't really give you the runaround like you're like a regular person. That's what I like about the process. It's just knowing that they're going to want you to actually participate. And, you know, we know how to handle ourselves in these stressful situations. But at the end of the day, I think that the most recent generation, like the generations after yours, that is trying to hope that they had a better start before they actually get invested or involved in the process. And they don't understand that every time that they don't show up, they're making things hard for the people who are participating.
There's an ideal that there's a generation after you that is telling young people not to participate in the process of voting and civil duty?
Well, I don't think it's telling them that. Some of the younger generation is so messed up in the system because the system is shutting them out.
Hmm.
You know, remember when King James and them put up all that money to go to the prison that they can give them back their right? Because some of the guys was in jail for bogus charge.
They were on there purposefully for bogus charges so that way they could take away their right to vote.
You understand what I'm saying, man?
Yes.
I try to tell them young guys that seen the script, I said, man, y'all ain't gonna be no good to yourself, man. Oh man, I'm LPO. I said, LPO don't give you no job, man. Wearing your pants below your butt, showing the crack of your butt. I said, I won't even hire you, and I do landscaping, man. Cause I go in people's yard, I be dressing neat. I love to have a hooligan walking behind me and keep pulling his pants up. You can't do no work for me. If I'm paying you off my money, Russ. Oh, Mr. Johnson, you wrong. I said, I ain't wrong. You the one with the money. Tell him I'll take you to work with me. I'm paying you by the hour, and you don't give me 20 minutes of work. I said, I don't need you around pulling your pants up, and I'm working. See, I work when I go to work. I would not tell somebody to do something I want to do or can't do. You know, you got to be an example. You just can't be somebody that's act like you better than the guy that you got working for you. You gotta let them know, yo, I already got paid for the job. If you want to get paid for your job, you gotta show me you worth the money I'm paying you. How could you ask for money if you can't perform?
Yeah, but a lot of people want the money up front, and you know not to pay people up front. Not in certain communities, man. Like that's how you get screwed over, you know.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Like I told this person today, I said, look, I make more money off of people's weakness and they think. I said, some of them I lose and some I gain. Yo, man, Josiah, you my son. I don't even have to take my goddamn retirement check.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to touch my money. Because like Dee told me, Daddy, you smart. Use your head. And Dee had to tell me that no more. And I tell Dee I'm broke. You know what Dee told me? Daddy, I know you. You my daddy. And I'm just like you. She said, I should never tell you to work smart. But she said, I don't regret it.
What do you say to now? There's a mindset of people that are not trying to compete in the process, because you've always taught how you was talking with Man of Tomorrow about how you was always reared and raised to work. Since I was a youngin', you used to even drag me outside to hold the light while you work on your truck in the freezing cold or to different jobs. What's the idea now that you got it with more men are talking about sexual access and different other things rather than work and producing of certain values and integrity?
Okay, you got two type of individuals in these cities. You got one that will show them the right way, and one that show them the way to the jailhouse. That's the drug dealers. They'll show you how fast that money is, but once you get to jail, they ain't come to help you. I show them a way they can survive every day and don't have to worry about looking over their shoulder every time they take a step. So it's up to you to make the choice. We do have a choice today. You know, it's like you got a choice. When you go home, you pull in your driveway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't too many guys your age that can say that. You pull in your driveway, you got 2 nice cars in your yard, you got a nice house, you got nice things that you can look back and say, man, I work hard, but I got something to show for it. That's my mentality. If I can come in his house and say, and he told me, James, we need, I said, ain't no problem. Just let me go in the bedroom. Ain't too many men to say that. I'm blessed. I told her, look, I ain't spending all my money because I ain't paid God yet.
What's the thought process about it's the woman's fault why the men are not able to compete or be able to be successful in the process of contending in the system?
You can't blame all that on a woman. Because just like I said, you got a choice.
Can you please elaborate, Dad?
You can't blame all that on the woman. Because my mama did not have a high salon education. I've been to school, and I still don't have that knowledge. I get most of my knowledge from talking to you, talking to Sean, talking to Dee Dee, talking to Jafari, and talking to Jaden. All of them give me little nuggets that I lay in my bed and think about it. Then I take it and I make it work. Ain't where you get the knowledge from. It's how you use it. I mean, the Bible says a babe can teach you something.
What skills? We know that you know how to fix an engine. You have agriculture. What other skills do you have under your belt, Dad?
I know how to build a turbine.
You can build a turbine?
Yes. I used to make the propeller for the jet engine. You forgot I worked with GE for 13 years.
Jeez.
That's what we did. Anything God blessed me with, anything I touch, I can do. I ain't no big reader with them big words, but if I can touch it, I can read a blueprint.
You can blueprint read?
Yeah.
What?
Half of them house in Jetburg, I either drywall it, reframe the house inside for them guys. All the way in downtown Charleston and big clubs. I built a lot of them.
Now, I know MOT and yourself. That's why I find it that's why I enjoy when I talk to both of y'all. Are very big on men acquiring skills rather than worrying about foolishness of women and what lower hanging fruit do. Why was that a big thing that you would push on me and other younger men? Why was that a big thing that you would push so hard?
Well, if you show somebody something and if you show them with love, just like remember I used to go get the watermelon.
Yes, every summer you would make me sit outside and sell. Yeah, you go collect watermelon.
I said, y'all, every watermelon you sell is 50 cents yours. I would teach you how then to be an entrepreneur. Because you didn't buy the watermelon. I could have said, yo, you could sell there and sell that watermelon for nothing. But in my mindset, I was trying to teach you, the value of $1.
Yes.
I didn't tell you what I was doing. But at the end of the day, when all the watermelon gone, you got money in your pocket, I got my money, and we go buy more, and we do the same thing over and over. You were making money, and then you didn't have to buy it. You understand?
Yeah, no, because me and MOT have had conversations about how his grandfather had ample amount of skills just like you did. And we noticed that there was a thing back then that a lot of men back then, y'all needed a stockpile of multiple different skills. You know, uh, why is that not a sentiment today to pick up multiple different skills?
Because the technology has changed. The white man tell you come pump the gas, get the trash at the garage, and you rather go do that and learn something that will last you for a lifetime. Because sooner or later, that white man sell a gas station, somebody else buy it, you ain't got a job. Common sense tell you that.
I mean, so they was forced to stay ahead of the curve because they knew that they was trying to replace him the moment that they had a chance to, and that's what my grandfather was on. Was like
Right.
learning everything new, so that way they couldn't replace you as easily as they possibly could. So he wanted to learn how to do and know how most things work, so that way you can be indispensable to where you was. So or else if you were able to be in a situation where you can grab the customer away from them, you could be able to do that too. That's how he kind of ran his own stuff like that.
Now that's interesting that you say that, MOT, because there's this thing about, and me and my father had a conversation about the 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 new immigrant, the Latino, has become the new Negro.
He has actually.
And I see you and my dad both laughing, but they now can do multiple skilled jobs and just pick up and move. They're the new
Yep.
journeyman.
Hey, let me tell you something about them. When they leave Puerto Rico or Mexico, right? Mexicans are one of the hardest workers, and they ain't scared of the cold. They work in the rain. If it's raining and and a black man's supposed to be at work, he ain't coming. You get to that job site, that Mexican, he up there putting plastic on the roof because he wants that check and he wants the job.
Dad, we used to do that too, Daddy.
Yeah, we used to, but we don't do it no more. That's the reason Mexicans taking on their job, but they're bad. It's just like when you get a job, right? You don't just learn your job. You learn everybody's job.
You learn everybody's job. Yes.
You learn everybody's job. If Joe don't show up and Joe come back, when he do come back and you got his job, right? They ain't gonna hire Joe back. Because they can't depend on Joe. They want somebody to keep their company going forward. They ain't want nobody now he come back and something new came in and he don't know nothing about it. So they gotta waste time to train him.
When they can train one person to do multiple jobs and they're trying to learn how everything works because they're trying to pass the information on to other people. Like a lot of people don't understand like all the ingenuity that we had during kind of like the silent generation really fell off during like the boomer generation.
Right.
Like a lot of people didn't hand that stuff down because people wanted to not work with their hands. They wanted to show up on screens and do all this buck dancing and all this kind of entertainment stuff, and they just didn't pass the skills down. Or else, I mean, they pass the skills down, but the people repeatedly disavowed the actual that they were skilled and they wanted to do other things that were quote unquote easier.
Hey, OG,
Yes, sir.
you ever been in the military?
Mhm.
Yeah, Air Force. Yeah, 5.5 years.
And listen to what I'm gonna say. In the military, they teach you to live not for one day, right?
They do.
They teach you to live for life. They teach you whole life program that you survive the rest of your life, not just for that 3 years. Some people like that system once they get in it, right? So man, I ain't getting a free check. I ain't got rid of my mortgage and none of that. They teach you basic life survival for the rest of your life. They're only teaching you for 1 year, 1 day, 1 hour. I'm told me to self, man, I think about it when I'm out there on the tractor, man. I said, man, if he didn't teach me how to be by myself sometime and think on my own, he teach you everything, man. How to think for yourself, especially when you're in a spot. sometimes I'm in a spot and I can't think for the moment, right? What I do, I call on God. And next thing I know, the tractor moving. I look like, wow, that looks nice. Thank you, Jesus.
Now,
That's what I did all through the military, man.
now, Dad, I remember you. I remember how you went over, and one of the things about it was, and I claim that to my success was that you got to be committed to participating in the process. One of the things I always was participating in the process, so that way I could have other jobs open up to me. So, and I remember you used to do that. You used to go down there to the town hall, go down there to the church, deal with different other men with business or other stuff to have other jobs. Um, what's your thoughts on that? I know MOT is very hard about that's something that men need to understand rather than hanging around entertainment and all that foolishness. What's your thought process on why that's something that needs to be retrained and re-implemented back?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The church ain't like it used to be. The church is a hospital, but they don't use it as a hospital. They use it as a bank book now. They are driving some people away. You understand? You're supposed to go to church and be able to, if it's a real church, they know if you're hurting or not.
So the church ain't what it used to be anymore.
No. Because you remember Mr. Bigfall and all them was to be against. I go to tell them what I did, and they be trying to shoot me down when I was at Zion Church.
Right.
And Mr. Bigfall said, no, I want him to do it. It was his idea, and remember we turned that wood into a big park.
Yes.
And then after I made it where it was, then all of a sudden the younger one, he took sick and couldn't the voice, and then Deacon Givenscott come and try to push him out the way. But this week, Paul would say, nah, my husband want him to do it. You know, they were trying to move me out the way, but their daddy and wife was fighting for us to keep that job. Because you remember, that was a woodman. We went to that church. My finish was a beautiful backyard. They made picnic space. They were having baseball out there for the youth. That was me, you, and Joshua turned that into what it was. See, y'all don't see it like that. We made that. Look at Bishop Howell Church. How much pulpit I built in that church? I remodeled that church more than Bishop Howell. I remodeled that church. Every church he ever had, I built the pulpit in it. And never preached in it.
So one of the biggest things that you definitely push hard for was that proper networking and being did you ever feel that was something that that needed to be pushed out more in the community? Was that we needed to network outside of the community or just only inside of the community?
Well, no way started just at home. You know, I came here, I got 150 different flowers in my yard. You know, when people come around here begging me and Andy to come do their landscaping, me and Andy tell them we want to landscape our land. We ain't going to make your house look better than mine. But I get to go in their yard and do maintenance for them, turn the water away from their houses and stuff. You know, you can still sell you good. I'm the most expensive landscaper in the Delta. I work when I feel like. If I feel like doing nothing, I lay in my bed and watch them through the window. I turn the dog loose. I mean, I won't be bothered. I tell them, yo, man, this is my drawers. I'm going back in my bed. I'm retired. Well, I don't want your money, man. I'm going to lay down. I speak to this. Yeah. Hey, man. See, when you get place in life, you respect people and people respect you, man.
No.
It's the way you. One of my friends told me, man, you be telling people. I said, I don't. Because I'm out there working, they're drinking, and now their wife is on their back now. They want to make me go to work. I say, hell no. I work when I feel like early in the morning. I'm a morning person. I get up early in the morning, and by 9 or 10 o'clock, I be heading back to my house.
Was that something that we hear a lot of stories that the women stayed in the house while the men just went to work. Was that always a thing?
Nah. You remember, man, I used to drive truck. Your mama used to be in that truck. All of us
Same with my mom too. She knew how to drive. She didn't. She knew how to drive, but she wasn't a truck driver.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So she was in the truck with me till I got tired of driving for her.
What about around roof time?
My mom, I tell you something, your grandmama ain't never learned to drive, and she told me one day, I said, Mom, how come you ain't never learned to drive? She said, that roughed the hell out of me. she said, I did enough, James. I had to get up in the morning, cook everybody their breakfast, come home and cook lunch, go back to the field, come cook supper. He said, shit, they were working the hell out of me. If I learned to drive, I would have stayed in the field. So she find her neutral space in life. She'll cook for breakfast, get up early in the morning, cook that breakfast and stuff. Halfway cook supper. At lunchtime, cook something quick. But she said she never wanted to drive. Every last one of her other siblings had license. She said she never wanted a license.
Even the women?
Huh?
Even the women?
All of them had license. All my aunts got license and been driving. My mother, the only one ain't never had a permit. She said they ain't gonna make her drive. I see why. Shit, they would have killed my mama. I'm all last all them.
Now, one of the things about it was where'd
you learn how to drive? Like, where did you learn? Like,
where'd you learn how to drive? I remember you said third.
I learned to drive on a tractor.
Well, there's your answer. He learned how to drive on the tractor.
No, but you still have to have a chauffeur's license. Like, where do you get a chauffeur's license from?
Where'd you get your chauffeur's license?
Me for the 18-wheeler?
Mm-hmm.
I got in the military. I just kept on driving.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think that was I think you could transfer that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could transfer it for a while until like people really messed up that process after like
they messed it up.
I got in the military, and this man get the job. I see all the boys driving the big truck. So I was in the mess hall. So I said, well, I got typed with our mess sergeant, and he said, yo, Tom, can you drive that truck? So I got that job, man. I had to go in the motor pool and hide when I don't want to do no run. When they called for that truck was ready. Then I went from driving the deuce and a half to 5 ton. Then I got in the track. I stole the Sergeant Major Jeep. He told me, Johnson, I ain't doing nothing to you because you went back and got food and liquor for us. Had it made, man. Shit. You ain't got no liquor on that truck. You better get in that Jeep.
I think the deuce and a half is where I actually learned like multi-level floating.
It's the way, right?
Yeah, it was a deuce and a half.
Same for me. That's when I actually started learning. The guy was too old to drive, and that was something like when I was joining the service. My daddy was one of the reasons why I was winning the service, and he was like, learn how to drive a truck, and I'm like, man, I ain't listening to him. He said, trust me, he's gonna come in handy. But it was a blessing and a curse learn how to drive them damn deuces, because then after a while they all start depending on you to drive the damn deuce.
Because nobody wanted to drive a deuce. No one wanted to drive it. And it's like because like in the Air Force, I was nuclear control operator. We call it nuclear controllers, where you could control nuclear weapons coming out of the ground, how fast they come out of the ground to get shipped or whatever. And the only way you can get out of there is by deuce and a half. And you have to do the posting out of like everybody. There's like 26 people in the actual back, and you have to drop people off at different locations. And the dude had got sick or whatever, and they were like, "Well, do you know how to drive stick?" Yeah. All right, well, this is how you drive stick, and this is how you drive deuce and a half. I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me that there's 5 gears, and then there's like another 5 gears with the gear selector? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like you put too much thought into it.
That's not the driving ATV, huh?
Yeah, and that's how I learned how to drive. Though it's like I couldn't realize why there needed to be that many gears because there was Italian vehicles that had 3 gears that still went to 70 miles an hour, 4 gears, 5 gears. Like I drove three, four, 5 gear trucks, and then you put me in a 10 gear thing, and it just didn't make any sense about why there was so much of a differential between the actual speeds. And it was just weird to me because I was in Germany first, and then I went to Italy, and then they had different type of vehicles. Then you ship back to where you were, and it's like you have to learn how to drive all over again after dealing with another vehicle. That's how it was.
I try to tell you, man, there ain't nothing to it. If you know the RPM on that truck, you can drive any truck in the United States. You can drive any vehicle that got a motor in it.
And I believe you and all your kids drive stick, correct?
Yep.
All your children drive stick.
But like the gear shifter was on like where the turn signal was. It wasn't like in the middle of the truck for like Italy and Belgium. It's on the gear shifter, like whether like there's like the actual turn signal and the actual windshield washer, and then there's like where you put the thing in and out of gear. So it's like when you go somewhere else, you literally have to learn how to drive a whole new vehicle, even though it's quote unquote the same vehicle.
Hey, y'all drove on the left side over there?
In Italy, yes. In England, yes.
Yeah. He had to drive. Everything was backward over there, so you know, hey, man. When I drove in Germany, I drove all through Wildflingen, Frankfurt, Spartanburg. I went all the way up to Frankfurt, Nuremberg. I drove all the birds. Well, we wanted to get drunk. We were running to one of them wine sour man, and you couldn't leave until the MP come and tie it off. See, by the time they get there, we'd be drunk.
Yeah, I was one of those type of people who went out there to go rescue personnel and bring them back to base.
Yeah. By the time they got there, we was in another world.
Yeah, I mean, because they would get drunk and they wouldn't allow you to drink. I mean, because you know what German cops would do to people if they knew you were drinking and driving, because they would call people on you after serving you all that alcohol. And if you ever went toward their vehicle, like they'll come get you, and they getting a sample one way or another.
In Germany, they had to call the MPs.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because like in Germany, they made us ride with Polizei. They made us ride with Polizei to read them their rights in English, and then they would tell us to leave the scene because they're about to extract the fluids. And they didn't want us around.
Do you since we have the generation of military, why do you think that a lot of people ain't taking advantage of it now, like how it was? Do you think the military is harder than what it is back then, or what's your thoughts on it?
I think it lost a lot of respect when Trump got in the White House.
I think they lost a lot of respect
He tried
before
to get
that.
some of the military.
All right, what's your thoughts to MOT?
I think that every conflict beyond World War II destroyed the credibility of the military. I'm not going to count the Iraq War, the first one, but I think Korean War, Vietnam, just those two. I mean, you had the skirmishes that wasn't a full blown war that lasted for years, right? Like your Grenadas and your all that kind of stuff, right? But I think that they kept mismanaging the people who were there. I think like the amount of time that we stayed in Vietnam did a whole bunch of damage to the actual military by drafting people. I think like leaving it as a professional military should have been the actual thing. I think that by going into these conflicts and not having the actual manpower, the volunteer manpower to go through these things, I think those generals really screwed over a lot of people. I think a lot of those generals really destroyed the actual credibility of the military. That is, I really do think that.
Now, do you coming back from Vietnam? Um, were you treated kind, Dad, or
I didn't have to go to Vietnam. I did body bags. I was in the state.
okay,
You know,
Okay, but he went in, but he didn't actually go to the war.
okay,
I didn't have to go. I told you that when we started the conversation.
okay? You said that they had
I
enough
had too
family.
many I had too many family members in there.
Okay,
See, I got cousins still acting crazy for me.
mm.
I got one cousin. You think all his money belongs to the state lottery because he's trying to get rich. They don't give him a big enough check.
Mm.
Well, you can't blame him on that. That's that cancer and stuff that's eating him up. At least he quit drinking. He took a new disease.
Do you what do you think that there's the process for veterans to get the proper health and care? Do you think it's gotten better or no?
It all depends on where you live at.
It does. It really does.
I agree with that one.
You don't want care from the actual. I know because I used to work for the VA. Where you do and where you don't want care. Trust me.
You go up north, they got more access to different for all the problems that you have. You don't have to go through like these people down here. Most of my doctors now is outside of the VA, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So if I was in Boston, I would have to choose to see outside doctor, right? Down here,
Yeah, to be with them.
I ain't got no other choice. Remember I told you I had to buy some teeth for my head?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Yeah. The doctor, that's why I've been at Friday all day. Running from the dentist to the sleep place. And the dentist told me I shouldn't have to wait almost 4 months for some teeth. So I got mad and went and bought my own teeth. I'm trying to make the government give my money back. So when I figure out the way, I'm getting my money back.
Now do you think that this should be taught how to properly go about? But I was lucky because I had people like such as yourself to teach me how to go about getting my stuff done with the military. I can go ahead.
But you got to understand, Josiah, you was up north.
Yes, I know.
You had access to all that. If you was down south, you would probably still be fighting for your disability.
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, like when I found other people's like disability when they're in the South, like right now, I'm still. I just have them file in another state and they get their benefits because they've been filing in the Mississippi Delta for a while, like Washington County or Hinds County or Sunflower County. Dude, they still waiting on their benefits and they've been applying, reapplying, getting turned down. Like most of this
Mhm.
stuff is not even getting looked at by people. Period.
Yes,
I'm
that is true.
serious. See, he
No,
know
that's
he
true.
laughing because
That's
you know
true.
it's right.
You know, they
That's,
was sending me to Arkansas, right? And I live in Shelby. I said that don't make sense. They sent me to Memphis. I went to Memphis and I'm on the hookers laying down there. I said, shit. I told that doctor I ain't coming back here.
I mean, that's 3 hours away. Like, why would? I mean, why would they send you 3 hours to Memphis when they got a place in like Washington County that does the same thing that
Yeah,
you're going
I
to Memphis for? That's crazy.
And I got this doctor off. He asked me, why you late? I said, shit, y'all sent me to the hospital was. I said, shit, it take a while to get off that street.
I think that was a thing about it that he pushed for me. MOT was like, he was like, listen, go up to Massachusetts and you tell them everything and you go through the process.
Yeah,
And I was probably that.
get
Yeah,
through the situation and you leave. Like it matters. Like when you go through the process to Colorado, you're gonna have your benefits within 3 months. But if you apply like in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, dude, you're gonna be a year. A whole year. I'm talking about people who have like IED explosion injuries have to wait a whole year because of the state that they applied for them for, and then they
yep,
try to brush them off with some 35 or 25%. Talking about people who can't even walk and stuff.
yep, yep, yep. They sure will. Like I said, I went up there. I got the doctors. Hell, at some point, if I would have finished staying up north, they're already talking about do you want a house? Are you what you want to do with your credit? They were doing the whole thing. They were doing the whole process. Do you want to go to school? Do you want to go pick up a trade? They were doing all that right there on the spot.
See, when I got my disability, I went to college.
Yep, my dad showed did. You did go to college.
I went to college. I graduated. They gave me my diploma, and they gave me a check, $180,000. I said, fuck that damn diploma. I put the diploma in the trash can. I said, I ain't looking for a job no more. I want to work for myself.
My dad went to college to get a degree. He put it in the trash. I was so confused.
I mean, but if they paid you all that money to actually go to school and you went to like me, like I had like I kept all my VA monthly checks and I still had grants and shit to go to school because I always had good grades going to school.
But see,
So
Josiah, you didn't understand. You went in the military from Boston, right? Boston was paying me $1,300 a month because I went in the military from Boston. State of Massachusetts take care of their veterans. That's what
oh yeah, they do. They do.
And you couldn't get the grant because remember you were trying to get that grant money. They said you didn't enter the military from Massachusetts. If you did, you'd have got the money.
The fuck?
They give everybody state of Massachusetts join the military. When you come out, you automatically get 6 months of unemployment before you even look for a job. They give you time enough to go back into the system and bring your record up to date for where you at.
But see, there's a thing about it. There's a powerful thing that you and MOT are going over how to navigate men such as myself through the process to getting to a certain level. Granted, I have multiple streams of income. I never stop. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. James Johnson doesn't have no kids that sit on the ass. But he was like, I'm going to show y'all ways on how to use the system to get to other levels of a better system.
Did I tell you some stuff when you came to Boston? I said, look, you can get everything that they try to take from you. By the time you get back to go to South Carolina, you have power of everything that is yours.
Now that's a big, but I know MOT goes over that a lot about learning how to use the system as a tool. And you have that same ideology of a mindset.
I use the government till they fall up. I got 68 more years of checks to get. I'm getting every goddamn dime.
Say it again, sir. I'm getting all my shit too.
Hey,
All of it.
hey, my man, I don't miss no doctor appointment, man.
Not one. Not one.
Not even I get allowance about $400 to $500 from them a month, and that's outside of my check, man.
That's just to show up.
They pay me to come there and sit down, and if they can't tell me what's wrong with my body, I tell them, and I make that clear with them when I walk in the door. I say, look, you can only write down what I tell you to write down, because you don't live in this shell, and you can't tell me how this shell is working. I live in my body, and they can't. How the hell another man can tell you how your body is doing? After you look at all them charts at night, I got to make this body go to sleep.
Now, one of the things about it is you stay, and this is very interesting. Dad, you stay on top of politics. You stay pretty. I'd be very surprised whenever I talk to you about politics. You stay well informed.
Yeah, I got to know where the money at, man. You got to know where the money at. I can't be a preacher unless I know the word, but I know where the money at. And I try to make sure I stay focused. On what I don't know, I call Dee Dee. I know Dee Dee know where the money at because she work with it every day. She and Dee Dee and Sean, they know where the dollar at. Because both of them work where the money at. And Dee Dee makes sure she issued it out. She ain't got all them doctrines for nothing. So I found Dee Dee went to college with my education thing. I went to use it. They said, one of your kids are using it now. I called Dee Dee. She started laughing. She said, Daddy, you couldn't use it no more. So when hers ran out, she used mine.
So that's a thing. I took from your page was keeping track of the politics. I know a lot of people have gone against you about that, MOT, about why do you stay on talking about politics? Why you still on talking about politics? And just like my dad, he stayed on like, no, you need to know where the flow of the money's going. You need to know what's going on with the crops. You need to know the stuff. You can't go around ignorant.
You see how my granddaughter is, and I'm just teaching her, and she tells me, Granddad, them greens are up. She said, Granddad, I got an eye on it. I watch it every day. You ain't heard nobody else say they watching the greens. I told her, I took her outside and told her, and she keep an eye on it. Now, you got to watch her now. She going to want farm when she get older now. And that ain't nothing bad. I didn't show her how to do it. You know?
The thing is he requested her, she requested her grandfather that she wanted a garden. So he drove all the way from Mississippi to South Carolina and helped create her a garden of vegetables. And every day after school, it was her task, along with her siblings, to take care of their garden. What was the plant? What was the food that you had them their first harvest?
She had cantaloupe, tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, red pepper, bell pepper, and
yeah, tomato.
Yeah,
tomato. No, he already said tomato.
I had a couple of watermelon. I don't know how I made it out.
They came out pretty good, other than your ex-wife stealing them, or or the next door neighbor. But other than that, we so he did pretty
Come on,
good
man, bro.
MOT
Like,
teaching.
don't nobody let them watermelons grow, man. Like, once they get too big, bro, they're leaving early, man.
Yeah. So
Come on, man.
he did pretty good teaching two 9-year-olds. That was their harvest. That was their harvest. We were the only one in the whole neighborhood that didn't have to really go to the grocery store because he taught them how to farm. He taught them how to
Yeah,
do
like
some
my
farming.
grandfather made sure that we ran what was it? What do you call them? Greenhouses in the
Mm,
wintertime in Mississippi. So that way you still had to plant like we grew tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelon, several different type of peas and beans outside of corn. And he showed us how to actually have an actual setup to where you can pretty much plant in 2-week cycles. So that way
mhm,
you have a harvest every other week of everything else. And you make sure that you ate everything that you actually grow. So that way you didn't have to go to the store for anything. So so we would go out in the back and actually go catch white perch or catfish off the Mississippi River, and we would pair it up with what we picked in the actual field. So we had fish and whatever vegetables as
mm.
what we actually ate like several times a day. Like that's what it was.
That's that's some good eating. They my dad. I used to think he hated me. He's he had a I ain't sure for some people in the chat know a tiller, and you gonna have some strength dealing with a tiller. And if you didn't use that, you had to use a hoe, and you had to
Bro. Bro,
get
tillers are better, man.
listen, listen, listen. If you
All day tillers are better.
they are better, but you had to have strength to control that machine.
Nah, man, just wet the ground first. What are you doing? Like, did you really just go out there with the tiller and just start marking up the ground, bro? What are you doing?
Listen, if you don't pay
What
attention,
are
you
you
learn the hard
doing,
way.
man?
No, here's the thing about it. A hard head make a soft behind, and so you can't lie to a farmer because see, you already understand if you wet the ground up first, then it's not as hard to get the bust to the ground. But he knew if I was rushing or just not taking my work seriously. Yep. I before I go to school, I had to water the garden. I had to go. You remember that, Dad? Before y'all
Yeah.
go to school, y'all got to go to the garden, check on it, make sure the stuff is done. And then when I got back from the school, I had to go water it again. So that was a task. I was like, why I gotta do all this stuff? You want to eat? You want to
Like
eat?
my grandfather had like a lot of land, and as soon as the rain stopped, he would send us out there with the tiller and goods go mark up this land as soon as it was over. Like that's the only time that we was allowed to get dirty was right after it rained, and he would take the tiller. Like, dude, it was grossly inconfident. Like the amount of danger he was sending to for no reason. Like, dude, he would easily has GPS out there like in a heartbeat. But we would be out there with like full blown machines that can kill us. And he'll like, yeah, go out there and do that. And my grandmother would be out there. Oh, he could die. Like, oh, if he gets killed, then he's not one of our children. Let's go out there and this is what you got. And you pull the handle it here, and just go out there and just get it done. But right now, it just stopped raining, and go out there and till up this part right here. That's how it worked. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, but I first garden I planted for my kids was up north, and we were planting it in a rock bed, and all the people in the church used to laugh at us. But that year when we planted, and they all were trying to steal the stuff out of the garden. They didn't come to church; they were going to the garden. You remember that, Joseph?
Yep. Sure do. Sure do.
Everybody in that neighborhood said, "What the hell he gonna plant in that?" We were saving the leaves to make some mulch out of it.
Yep.
We piled the leaves and piled the leaves. And I said, "Well, we can put a garden in there now."
I think that's why there's a big frustration of a gap of knowledge, because I'm positive that us three men can replicate and produce food or resources anywhere we go, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful that my father was on me like that about that. Hell, I had that happen in even Afghanistan. They were like, we need farmers, and they were offering big contracts for American farmers to come over to Afghanistan to teach them. I was like, shit, I'm going home.
Because they wanted to grow something else other than poppy, and they didn't want to do the poppy anymore. But they could use like the same, because the poppy that they would grow, they wouldn't get a much harvest out of it because of the area. But any other crop that you would grow outside of poppy, they can be able to make up the amount and actually feed their family with. But what they can grow on their fields isn't part of their normal diet.
Right.
Like the cucumbers, tomatoes, watermelon. That stuff's not part of their normal diet. They don't even know what that stuff is. They've never even heard of that stuff for the most part.
Yeah. LOM. Yeah, I know you talking about aquaponics and hydroponics. Dad, is that not what your children already do?
What?
Aquaponics and hydroponics.
Both of them do it. They do both of them.
See, my dad, he's a farmer. His children, we all do. I'm the only one that can actually do both sides of the farming, the agricultural side and the hydroponic and aquaponics. My brother's sister can only do aquaponics and hydroponics. So I'm the only one that can actually do both of them. But yeah, aquaponics hydroponics is a lot cheaper. I can tell you that right now. Farming is not for the faint of heart, and it is not cheap.
There's a lot of aquaponic systems you could buy for like $500-$600, and they'll regularly produce things for you, like a whole system. And the only thing you have to do is put the seeds in, and it does everything else. So there's a lot of aquaponic and hydroponic systems that does it already. But you have to go to states that already have like marijuana legalization already there. That's where they are at for the most part. Like I know Colorado has them, I know Missouri have them, I know Illinois have them. But once you get into like the Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, it's kind of damn near impossible to find. Even though it's across Indiana, it's damn near impossible to find. But yeah,
Dad, why do you think? Why do you think a lot of blacks aren't trying to get back into agriculture?
Ain't the blacks is the younger generation. The younger generation they ain't want that. Because they ain't going to that saying that son. You know if they don't go on the fish tank and catch fish they can eat for free. Yeah, you think they're gonna go follow. See, on then they're gonna do a cold six-pack. The black ain't into it no more. You got more Mexican farmers than you got blacks. And the blacks that is into it, right? The older blacks, they're so busy stealing from the undermining their fellow brothers.
that is correct.
Trying to steal the land from them because they done got slick. Because we got one black guy, he was like leasing the land. And he started bullying the land and they didn't want us to even go on the land. So it's a 360 peak. It's partly greed and selfishness. Me and one of the black guys were talking this afternoon. And I told him, I said, there ain't no brotherly love no more. Only love we have is see what we can take from each other. I said, sometimes you got to lose to win. And he said, you're right. I said, because you got two choices. You lose or you win. Because if you go to be the winner all the time, you end up killing somebody. Sometimes you got to take your bitter with the sweet and walk away. And I still get blessed because whatever I think I lost, I make it in 2 days.
Now,
And I let you know, you can't hold a good man. Who God bless, no man can keep under. No man.
now, I done seen you. I hear a lot of people say that. Well, they should bring back the trades so that way the blacks could get the jobs back. Is it because that they took the trades or anything, or that's something because of?
Nah, man, don't even use that. Don't use that lyrics, man. Know why? Because we are our brother's keeper, right? How could you keep somebody that don't want to keep yourself?
Correct.
The idea is, even the younger one think they slick. This young kid, he about 17. So one morning he said, hey, Mr. Johnson, please give me a job. So I said, okay. So I went up to the lady's house and I said, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I come by here at 7 o'clock in the morning, don't have your pants swagged down. Cause I'm not, I said 7 o'clock, I mean 7 o'clock, cause you're not gonna have me late going to the lady's house. So I came, I stayed like 5 or 10 minutes. I said, well, I stayed 5 or 10 minutes, I take him, get him something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't show up, I left. When I finished work, all of a sudden he's standing up on the corner. Man, I was waiting. I said, you been waiting for me, son. Don't come to me lying. I said, don't come to me lying. And I'm not giving you $2. I'm not giving you 50 cents. I'm not giving you nothing. But you had a chance to earn it, but you want to lie about it. I said, I don't deal with lies for number one. And I said, furthermore, don't actually ever try to get in my yard to do anything. Because you lied to me out here. When will you do to me in my yard if I leave you outside? Because if I catch you in my shade, he can't get in the shade anyhow because my dog can go all the way up and, because he lay on the lawnmower. So if he go in that shade, he'll be eat up. he can go in. I don't lock the door. And it's James, you don't lock the door. I said, no. I said, buddy, that's buddy job. See, buddy don't let them in the driveway, so I know good and well he ain't gonna let them go in that shed. So, hey man, we supposed to help each other, but how you help people and they be giving them free food across the street? And I'll come there and say, yo man, y'all need to go around the corner, they giving them free food. See, them sucker won't go. They're sitting there. I've been drinking. I said, you gotta eat when you finish. Oh man, can you buy me a 5-piece? I said, they're giving me free food.
5-piece? What?
You my money? They got the wrong concept, the wrong idea about things, man. They got that prison mentality, man. They went to jail and think they got slick.
Yeah, man, and you gotta understand, like that term "slick" down south means something else versus anywhere else. That mean that hustle mentality, that whole fake it till you make it, that whole doing all that kind of other stuff, screwing over people, expecting no consequences. Like, man, you don't want to be around somebody who's slick down south.
Nope.
They never give it up. They never. Once they learn it, it's like a death nail, and you're gonna have to kill them to get them off the planet because they will not stop screwing over people until you get rid of them. Or someone get rid of them. They're going to try everybody around them.
Hey, you know if they don't want to go sign up for their Social Security, they'd rather sit on the corner instead of go down to the Social Security office and try to get their money. They'll miss their appointment
Yep.
I said, man, y'all are stupid. To get free money, y'all won't even go to Social Security office to sign up for it. I said, y'all deserve to stop. They don't give them food stamps, they're selling for booze.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people like that. When I was homeless, and most of those people were, their whole point was just being on disability and being on Section 8, and life was easy for them. They didn't have to do anything else in life except for cash their check on the 1st and on the 3rd, and it was cool for the rest of the month, and they didn't care about nothing else.
Helping them save their parents, man.
Yeah.
Most of these guys I know around here, they live with their parents or their sister. The sister probably in one of them Section 8 buildings. And they'll go stay with their sister for 10 years. My buddy, Black stayed with his sister for 6 years living on the couch. Paying his sister $650 a month to sleep on the couch. And one day he was doing some work with me and he was telling me, man, I live with my sister, man. I said, man, you 61 years old and you sleeping on your sister's couch?
They don't care about that. You know they don't care about that.
I said, come on, man. I said, where's your pride? I said, your pride. That man in the liquor store got driving a brand new Porsche. A brand new Porsche, and you make, and man ain't ashamed now. The man know he taking all the money. He bring the Porsche to work one day, a brand new Dodge Ram, bring his old lady Volvo, bring his daughter car. When he bring it right, they got this one black guy that wash car, and he let him detail. He paid him $50 a car. So, and when he finished, them boys keep it full of gas and pay for their cleaning because them guys, they can't keep a quarter in their pocket. The minute they make $1, man, put no friend in the liquor store. I said, man, you ain't gonna get nothing to eat. I finally talked him in to go and sign up for old people apartment, seniors apartment, and his cousin run that, and help him got in there. Other than that, he would probably still be sitting on his sister couch.
What do you say about men? All they do is brag about sexual access, and you know what I'm saying, how much, like, y'all have a conversation, all they keep doing is bringing up women.
Well, that's where the IQ at. That's the reason they get them little girls that are already on welfare on Section 8. They'd rather be a second-hand dad to somebody else's kid that he can say, that's my woman, and he be claiming babies that ain't his.
That ain't somebody that you try to work with or try to take along or bring up with you, if even though that they telling you how many women that they done conquest or done had.
Well, you know, some of the women is sicker than them. I talked to him. At one of them, man, low. I paid him $1,100 to redo a house of mine, and I had to beat his ass.
That you can't say that on camera.
Oh, I'm sorry. Me and him got into a conflict behind it because he after he
there you go.
He came out there and tried to brag about it. So I had to tighten my head up.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I still talk to him, but it didn't sink in because men are sometimes like women. You know, you meet a woman and saying that she love you more by you beating her. Like that preacher said, that ain't the first beating she got. That's probably the 58th beating she got. Any woman you got to beat that she can claim you shouldn't be with her.
Yeah, like my grandfather had to do some hard reintroduction of initial values with personnel. and it was very satisfying to see.
Now, why? Now, question about that, because we're hearing from a different era. Like I said, like what? Why was that something that y'all felt like, hey, that sometimes if the people got out of pocket, y'all had to discipline them a certain type of way? Why did y'all feel like y'all had to do that sometimes, Dad? Y'all could.
I was never that type that like hitting on women. You know.
What we talking about the men? I'm talking about the men. I'm talking about the men. Even though I know that y'all had a discipline type of era back in your time. It was a discipline type of era.
So pretty much the question is like, how did these Bravo Alpha Novembers get out of control to the point to where we have now?
Yeah, how did they get out of control to where back in the day y'all had a system of keeping them in check? How did they get out of control now?
I see them sitting out there drinking like them men, man, right from the bar. They walk at the liquor store and pop the cap and just throw it up in the air. She said, one lady told me, I like it in the raw. I said, that don't make you a lady. She said, I'm one of the fellows. I said, wow.
What? Oh, what? What are the fellas? What?
Were the fellas accepting of her?
Yeah, because they were drinking for free.
Oh, so they accepted her in the flock.
Yeah, because she was spending the money.
So okay.
You know, you blend in. If you got what it needs, you can blend. I won't hang with it because he ain't not had the money. And I look at being a bunch of broke people. I'm doing the spending and they getting drunk, and I don't even get drunk. But my partner told me he got some money for me. I said, yeah, I left your package with your son. My partner drink. I don't drink. My partner buy me. He's not drinking. When I come around him, he got me my water and a Sprite. Cause he's telling me I don't want you to drink no soda. I ain't buying no soda. I buy you water or any kind of water you want. I don't want his kids about drinking. But he's smart, man. He drink, he go home. He ain't gonna sit there and drink with them hoolums. He's the man, I'm going home now. I drink one shot with you. You don't drink your bottle of water. I said, I'm heading across the bridge, man.
No, like it's a very bad idea to go drinking with broke people. I learned that a long time ago. Like if you're going out to go drinking and you're going to go drinking with a whole bunch of aimless, broke people, somebody is not coming home the way they came out there.
Yeah, you
Hey man, it's just I have to take a break. Now we'll let me put some ointment on it.
all right, Dan. First of all, I thank you. MOT, you know what I'm saying? If you want to try to set up something another time, I will greatly be honored. I could try to reconnect with my father.
All right, cool.
All right, Daddy, I love you.
I love you too.
All right. And
all right, sir. Thanks for coming on and thanks for letting me interview you. All right.
He says thank you. He says thank you, much appreciated. MOT.
Yeah.
If any time you want, and I thank you for keeping it to where it was a contained show. He means a lot to me, and
Yeah, obviously you should, man. Like, brother, I wish my dad was alive, man. I wish my grandfather was alive, bro. Like, man, I wish man, there's so many people that I wish, like, my first sergeant from my first base was alive. I wish the first chief master sergeant I ever met, I wish he was alive. I wish a lot of older people was alive to see how these people pissed away their legacy, man.
right.
I wish they were still here. And it's like the stuff that your father's talking about is not some weird ass shit. It is simple, basic masculinity. But when you
Right.
look at these older people who are online right now,
He
and
could. He
it's
wouldn't.
like
He wouldn't sit with them.
he wouldn't be able to talk to these dudes or have anything in common with them. And it's like, this is the shit I grew up around, man. And it's hard to like ask ridiculous and simple questions to people that I know that been through shit, like real shit,
Right.
man. Like voting, like where it lives at. Voting don't really mean shit, but at the end of the day, most of the most of the people participated in the actual election process. They could turn that shit around in 5 years.
Mhm.
5 years they could turn that
Correct.
place around. 5 years they get a bunch of nonprofits down there, some NGOs down there get $5-6 billion a year, like $30 billion to turn Mississippi into like a California. I'm not lying.
And
Literally would.
I want y'all to understand this. My dad at no point has ever been to MOT's channel. Yet the talking points are drastically similar.
Yeah, like that stuff don't die. That stuff is the same. Dude, like talking to your dad is no different than like talking to my grandfather or talking to my
Right.
fucking dad, man. It's the same shit. The same, man. And it's like, bro, like, man, like you got people who like pissing on masculinity, man, by looking up to all these dudes who ain't even put the work in, man. Like, bro, that stuff really make me mad, bro. It make me mad as hell, dude. It really does.
I can understand it, like the agriculture, shit. I'm now learning that my dad knew how to build engines for planes. Like every time, but he surprises me with stuff like that. He was like, "Well, shit, it ain't like y'all asked me to build a damn engine, but that's
No, man,
something."
like my information about the agriculture system is very immense. I don't talk about it, but
Right.
I have studied about
Yeah, y'all just told me something new about the tractor. But you know what? I would see him do that, but I never thought in instinct to ask him. I knew that it was always parked a certain type of way, but I never knew behind the scene until y'all started speaking and having that agricultural. But see, that's something that
it.
certain
That's why you
people that
dig it, like. All right, so if you ever go back down there, notice
Mhm.
where the tractor is parked. Notice how there's a bigger ditch dug on three sides of that tractor than it is leading up to it. You're gonna see like a miniature, maybe something that you could drive into. But where that thing is at, it's just not out there. There's like bricks and all that kind of other shit out there. Like you're not
Right.
getting to that tractor that way. The only way you're getting out there is to go out there and start that shit yourself. And you just not gonna get out there like that.
And that was something that I would definitely say I want y'all guys like so and like I said, we definitely coordinated that. I'm hoping that y'all enjoy that. Um the
Yeah,
man
man. Like, we need to get to like I want to talk to Citizen Lou's dad. Like I want to talk to like other dudes from like
I think that would be
Mississippi. Like
really dope that you have something
yeah,
like that where you're grabbing men that have done their time
yeah.
and
Fathers still in their life or grandfather figures like still in their lives. Cause like listening to like that what do you call it? That Tie City stream about how his grandfather's values kind of shaped his life, talking to your dad, and it's like the same shit about how it shaped his life. Most people that I grew up around, it kind of shaped their life unless their dad was on some bullshit. And it's like if you had these values around that are normal, you wouldn't have these people who are consistently out of pocket, bro. Like you wouldn't have that shit. You wouldn't have it at all.
yeah, he's from how your granddad is. He's from the iron the iron the ironclad. Uh, I'm gonna beat it into you like era.
I
Like
mean, but it's easier under that, man. It's easy. It's easy as fuck.
yeah,
Like
you were gonna learn, man. You were gonna learn, man. You were gonna learn.
I mean,
I
because
felt
it's easy. My grandfather like, look, You're gonna be able to get wet. You're gonna be able to be a pig. It's just right now, not right now. And like once it rains or once like a big ass thunderstorm is in the morning, he'll wake you up and he'll like, remember when I told you that you couldn't touch any of this shit? Now it's time to touch all this shit. But you have to do this shit right here. Then we would come in all sloppy and muddy and shit. He'll like, told you. You know, he'll fucking stand you up like Jules and Vincent from like from, what was that? It wasn't Reservoir Dogs. It was dang, what's the other movie?
Schindler's List? Would it be Schindler's List?
No. Fuck.
Well, I know my dad.
Samuel Jackson, and fuck.
Is it
Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. Yeah, like when you went out there and got muddy as fuck, he'll spray you down with the fucking water hose before you went inside. Like that's how the shit was, just like that. Like he'll tell you go in there and tear up the ground, and after that shit, he'll fucking hit your ass with the fucking water hose, and fucking that's how it was, man. That shit was tight.
It was a lot of and the thing about it was that like because my mom was just like how your mom and grandmother were like, you got my son under them damn blades or doing all that crazy. James, get my boys out of there. All right, you gonna kill my babies.
Yeah, stupid shit, man. Like, bro, you have to realize like how dangerous that shit was, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, that was some dangerous ass shit, man. Come on, bro. Dangerous, crazy as fuck. No reason for children to be in that situation. Like, no, he got it. I mean, because you know, like the tillers, the diesel, you like barely 5 feet. And he was like, no, it's gonna be all right, man. Like you press that shit hard enough, man. That shit'll pull your ass under that shit. In a heartbeat.
That thing is pulling you in. Trust me, I've seen them rip clothes off of somebody.
You know? Yes. I mean, and that's how come you can't wear saggy pants and none of that bullshit around it.
Y'all know
that's the main reason why.
Saying something about them saggy pants. He kept bringing up that you don't want to wear loose clothing while you're doing.
You'll forget where you at. You put all that horsepower into like one pull of that shit, and you will snatch beneath that shit, and like your body's ripped apart.
Well, I'm having flashbacks, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
because I've seen it happen to other people who fucking wanted to play with the shit because they thought we was out there playing with the shit. Like, nah, man, we out here doing work.
We out here trying to get food to survive.
Yeah.
And like again, and my dad was big on that was one of his things he talked about at the table was politics. He talked about politics, he talked about finance, he talked about money. Those were things. He was not a bullshit type of person. That's why,
man, because he had to be in it. He had to be in it like the whole time. Like, dude, like you can't be down there in the South like that unless you have a business. Or unless you're a veteran who's on like full benefits. And he said he has 160 acres of fucking land. So that dude wasn't fucking around. 160 acres of land in the South is a lot of fucking land, bro. Like we ain't got no 160 acres of land. Like we ain't got that shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, at the end of the day, man, like these people have been fucking up masculinity for a while. They've been trying to make masculinity serve some rotten ass motherfucking woman that you shouldn't be with. But it's these dudes who were the problem. It wasn't even the women at all. They needed the rotten women to actually try to leverage who they were. And that's the bullshit about it, man. Like, bro, man, that shit made me mad as fuck. Whenever I know these dudes are full of shit. I know that they are. I know it.
That's why that's why when it comes to a lot of these conversations of, I'm very picky on how I look at a lot of this stuff, and people.
Man, I can't relate for the most part, but
I can't. That's
these
why
people exist too.
Right, I can't. That's why, like, I've had only a few times where, like, I when I was listening to certain stuff, and my father's starting to overhear some of these things. He'll tell either me or my older brother, like, turn off that shit, man. Like, that's not our ways. Like, you gotta understand, like, he literally he's very ironclad about politics and integrity and certain rearings of how he wants things to be. I'm telling you right now, if I go over there to Mississippi, I already know the routine. Around 6:30, we're getting up, drink some coffee. We'll probably grab some food, get in the truck, and we're going to grab the workers and we're going to hit those fields. We're going to hit the fields. And I mean, work hard, play hard, cash the check. And I'm telling you right now, I think, and that's interesting when they come to you, MOT, about I wanted to get into business or I want to be successful. I don't think they truly understand that to build that type of pyramid. Just like how I like how you pull up that quote. He literally was speaking on that. Just because you do not take the interest in politics doesn't mean it won't take. And believe me, a lot of my father's friends are in the political arena. A lot of them.
Make shit a lot easier to do all the way. Like when you sitting here and they know you're politically, like once they know that you can get them fucked up, it's a whole different interaction with the marketplace and the dude who just shows up asking for reparations, never really invested or involved in shit, want to do a one and done. And you talking about people who've been at this shit for 160, 170 fucking years. And look at you crazy because you ain't got no fucking home trainer. Like, where the fuck do you think you get off at being a new ass person around here that you about to get all this shit you think you work, bro? Like, that ain't how that works, man.
Fun fact. Notice throughout this whole conversation, not one time did y'all ever hear, and MOT can replay if he ever has to examine it. Notice he never brought up reparations. My father never brought up reparations, not one time.
No, not at all. No.
Never brought it up.
Not that we're not worth it. It's just that, dude, there ain't enough people participating for us to even be asking for no shit like that, bro.
Yep. He never bothered to bring it up because he just knew. Like again, he told y'all, like, hey, like ain't like y'all trying to run out there to that damn field. It's not like y'all trying to do that. So
I mean, because like if they paid attention to the Native American argument, they was awarded 3/4 of fucking Oklahoma that they're still apparently fucking still fighting for.
And you asked him that question earlier about his origin point, and he answered it very quickly. Like, you got to know these court cases. You got to know the policies. You got to know the political stuff. You got to have some type of management. Like, you couldn't be a dumbass back. Well, you could be a dumbass, but then there was no need for you to be in certain rooms to talk to the men. Like, they had no point for you. Like, well, either you're going to be the guy with the kids running under the tillers and shit and cleaning them out and getting certain stuff done, but you damn sure ain't going to be the guy driving the damn tractor. We can't have that shit. You be fucking up thousands and $1 million worth of equipment. Right now.
Not only that, but the fucking land too.
Like that was something I like I said, that man put me. I'm thankful that he put me, just like I'm thankful your grandfather put you through the ringers.
And here's the thing, man. Like, bro, like I didn't have him around for a lifetime. Right? Dude, we're out of here like what would have been my 10th grade year, but I went like 9th, 11th, 12th because I had like enough credit to graduate or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, I still had the fucking upbringing and I had a choice to do this shit or not do the shit, to get the fuck out of there or to stay down there. I got the fuck out of there. And I would never have my kid going through the shit that I went through.
That to me is weird because I've never heard my father at one time ever say, I want you to go through this type of shit. I've never heard my dad ever say that. I never heard him say you should go through my struggles like I did. I've never heard that come out of his mouth ever. Never heard him say, hey, I wish you was back then when we were going through certain suffragist movements and things like that. Never heard him say that. We need to go back to the 1950s, 1960s. We need to go back to segregation. I've never heard that shit ever come out of my father's mouth. Never heard that. Never heard that out of his mouth.
That's why it's hard to listen to with dudes who you know that are full of shit. They're trying to run a hustle and a con. They're trying to keep these dudes stuck on bullshit. And they're literally hiding behind the ignorance and the fucking cowardice of these dudes who just don't want to do shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about dudes who want to pick and fucking choose stupid, broken fuck. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about the dude who's trying to pick that, and I don't give a fuck about the woman who's trying to be that. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of them motherfuckers. Don't even care about it, period. Never will.
Right. Because like I said, man, that was just that's weird for me. People like talking about like know your history, learn from your history, and do better for your history. That was always something that my parents were hard on us about. Like, y'all need to learn your fucking history. You need to learn why we work in this land. Like, I literally like it was a thing. I bet I'm for sure. If we were to take you to your family land, you probably most likely know every nook and cranny from a dirt road to
Oh
where
yeah, no
we're
doubt.
gonna leave the
Yeah,
town and
yeah,
all that
no
stuff.
doubt. No doubt.
I'm like, why the
I,
hell? Why the hell do I have to learn this? I remember one time you turned around and popped me in my mouth. He said, "Listen, boy, you don't get a prize for being stupid. You need to learn this. You need to learn this. How big is our land? How far out does it go? You know what I'm saying? What happens when it rains? The rain season picks up. That same road that y'all take, you can't get through with it with a car. You got to take a Hemi truck, and a Hemi truck can bog down, or a trailer can bog down. I had to learn that for 3 years straight, like just the land alone, like, and I'm still shit. Hell, y'all. I'm very thankful that y'all had that conversation. Not to say I don't have these conversations with my dad, but again, there's certain stuff that it just shows y'all that these are conversations that are not being brought up enough. So I hope that you do more of a series with the men. Thank you for having me be the first of a series of of generational conversations that you're doing. I think a
yeah,
lot of
I mean, because like most of it actually, the leadership of Black America has been supplanted by like these DJ academic motherfuckers, man. Like these dudes don't even rank anywhere in society, and these entertainment dudes, they
mm,
don't rank anywhere in society, man. That's the shit that pisses me off more than anything else. It's just that these people are literally like supplanting masculinity right in front of our goddamn face, and think that we ain't gonna say nothing about it. You got
right.
dudes who believe in street niggas. You got dudes who believe in all this fucking bullshit. It don't mean anything, man. And they know this shit haven't fucking done any type of good anywhere else in society. Like they know that fucking shit, right? They know it, and they still want to push these bullshit niggas anyway. That's the
And
bullshit I don't like about it. Like there ain't no track record, no history, no nothing behind this shit that shows us that these people have actually done the shit that they need to be doing. They
and,
haven't done it. They've
and see
never
that,
done it.
and that was the thing about it. My dad was very big on separating the weak from the goddamn foolish, and the ones that can actually be strong. So from the weak from the strong, excuse me. Like my dad was very, very, very strong armed about that. He's the type of person where he'd be like, MOT, I know where I could put you. You can do this. Like, I could take you with me down there, Columbia. We're gonna go get these harvests out there sold. I used to say, Dad, why can't I go? No, because that you're good at working the stands. Me and MOT are good at doing the wholesale. He knew how, and but see the thing about I at the time, I didn't know he was teaching me until I was ready that level of business. And then after that, he started taking me around his some of his friends to learn wholesale. But he said the rule was you can't talk. You can't
Yeah.
talk, just listen. And I'm pretty sure you had that when you was with your granddaddy, you knew not to talk. You knew just to shut up and just be there.
Nah, man, like, you can say shit, man. Like nah shit. Like we did like cows and pigs and
Yep.
hogs and shit. And when it came because they were looking for somebody, they're looking for advanced information. They're looking for people to stunt and like talk shit and do all the other shit. Right? Like that's what they were looking for. They'll have like our sons are the same age, and then they'll come ask you their son would ask like business related questions, and you have to be able to dodge that shit.
Mm, mm. But that makes sense because they can't know nothing if there's not a leak in the unit.
Correct. But that's why they want to send their kids out with your kids, and that's why you have to be with them because they're looking for a weak link within your organization or for you to run your mouth about how shit works. They literally want to do that for real. And that's how that worked at that point. Like they didn't, yeah, like it was multifaceted and multi-layered, and it was all centered around fucking your shit up. Like a
And
lot of people don't know that they are trying to take your land, they're trying to take all this shit away from you. For real, like they are. That's how they do business, and they don't know how to do business any other way. That's what they've been fucking taught. And if it wasn't that way, we wouldn't have the history that we have. Remember, they convinced people to fight a whole entire war for the free. So I don't know how the fuck you gonna convince these people not to try to screw you out of your shit. When these people have been convinced to fight a whole war for the free and they still think they owe shit, even though they lost. You cannot negotiate with these people.
I'm trying to tell you, man, like y'all, I hope y'all really do appreciate it. Y'all understand that I'm actually happy because at this level of the conversation, MOT and my father were having that of a dialogue of just how deep it goes. How they'll say, well, the white man stole the land. Yes, but he had an accomplice. The same people that get up on shows and panels or on podium these days, you'd be surprised who was out there. Well, actually, probably won't be surprised, but they were selling you out long before the conversation, and then telling
Even
you
started.
right. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, man. I've watched it happen. I've watched it happen plenty of times. I've seen this where people are too lazy to want to work the land, but then they get mad when all of a sudden they see foreigners out there and they'll say, well, we need to get them out of here. But harvest still got to get out. Still got to get done. Y'all didn't want to go out there and work the peach orchard. Y'all didn't want to go out there, pick the greens, the okra, the squash, the tomatoes. MOT understand you got to be quick and fast. Ain't got
No,
time
man,
to
you
be
gotta be you gotta be ready and you gotta be out there, man. Like it's hard to explain to people like how fast things can move and have to move, but at the end of the day, if these dudes just don't want to understand it, like a lot of people are just meant to be behind and meant to stay behind. Like when these people start to procreate, that's when there's a problem. And I don't care about who does it with them. I just care that we have to deal with it. We have to deal with the actual part of it that we shouldn't be even dealing with. And that ain't got nothing to do with us, man. That has something to do with the people who actually tried to side with these people and send these people in here to do all that. Like I don't even care about that. I don't care about most of these dudes. End of the day, I'm not here for entertainment, man. Bro, there's too many things that we have to do that is simple.
right already. And that's like I said, y'all. That again, if y'all need to know exactly where my ideology thought process comes from, it comes right there from him. All right, that's why usually when MOT talks to me most time, I'm working. Usually when I'm talking with brother MOT, he's in the same boat. He's working. So I just trying to let y'all know, man. Like that's just one of those things that one of those types of things that y'all need to just be very mindful about. Is just is about how these things go. The women talking point, the argument,
That ain't got nothing to do with us, man.
they ain't got nothing to do with us. My dad don't even entertain that shit.
I mean, like if you're not above or below sticking up in these type of women, bro, and you still need to do that, bro, you ain't one of us, man. You ain't one of us. Never was one of us. I don't want to hear about women that you discarded that I should be respecting, bro. Like I'm not trying to hear that. When I hear that shit, I think violence is the answer. That's what I think. It's like, bro, you shouldn't even be living long enough to even be bragging about access to these actual people, bro. You shouldn't even be living long enough to do that. That stuff's crazy. At the end of the day, you're keeping this going, not her. She's just gonna be with people who want to be with her, bro. Like, so why are you pretending like you some type of thinking black man or anything else in the world if you still messing around with the problem? If you're still fraternizing with the actual issue of what we're supposed to be fighting against. So why are we here really? Why are we here really when you can't even handle controlling your dick? So we gotta manage everything else for you? Like, come on, bro. I ain't with that shit, man. It's just kind of weird, bro. I haven't been raised around this shit, never been raised to respect this shit. I think it's foolish. Dumb as shit. It ain't got nothing to do with us, man. It's the people who wanted to be, who wanted to have the respect of men while being in a bitch ass nigga's body, man. That's all I got, man.
Yeah. Well, MOT, I'm glad I definitely could be here to help out with this, man. Please let me know if you want any more conversations with Father BMT.
I will, man.
I definitely will have y'all. I definitely will try to bridge y'all both together. This is fun for him. You know what I'm saying? He actually reminded me. He said, "Hey, and I'm going to be talking with your buddy." So I'm glad that he was excited to do that with you.
All right, cool, man. All right, man. Thanks for coming through, man.
Okay, bro.
All right, look. All right, man. Thank y'all for coming through. This is the live stream interviewing BNT's father about the upbringing and everything else. As you can see, no liberal, no conservative brought up. No reason to talk about women. Ratchet women didn't even been brought up as a concept. It's the same. We're just raised as different people. At the end of the day, the people who don't have this upbringing need to be exiled from the manosphere. I'm not trying to forgive nobody. I'm not trying to make room for these dudes. None of this shit. Go create your own space, bro. You don't belong here. You're not one of us. I don't care how many followers you have, or any of that dumb shit that you on, or all this pandering shit you got. If you ain't participating in the actual process, you ain't actually trying to change or move anything from one point to the next, bro. We ain't got no room for you here. Everybody was okay with the manosphere being laissez-faire and all this kind of other stuff, and it turned out it was an inclusion spot for the hangout crew. I ain't got no time for that no more. What you do, you catch these people out of line, you go saw their heads off, and you make sure that they can't even come through with anything else on the counterpoint. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through on the man tomorrow. You guys have a really nice rest of y'all night. Peace.